Breaking news today. You better buckle up for this one. From mass deportations to experimental continental missiles being launched at Ukraine from Russia. Pentagon officials say it's absolutely insane, the Trump deportation plan. Look at this, CBS News. Russia fires missiles at Ukraine after Kyiv's first use of long-range American missiles inside Russia. Russia claims it shot down a U.S.-made ATA-CMS missile or missiles and issues nuclear threat. AP News. Putin says Russia has tested a new intermediate-range missile in a strike on Ukraine. Reuters. Russia fired experimental ballistic missile at Ukraine, Putin says. Some think unconventional warfare. Danish Navy reportedly boards Chinese ship suspected in European undersea cable sabotage. Sweden's defense ministry put freighter at the time and place of the disruption. The plot thickens. Earth's magnetic North Pole is shifting towards Russia. What does that mean? I've got a free webinar coming up tomorrow. We're going to have some different ideas and brainstorming. We're going to talk about multiple income streams, different endeavors, and prosperous adventures. I'm going to be with my friend Jay Matta. He's the founder of Gnostic TV, very successful businessman, entrepreneur. We've had great success, and we're doing our best to help as many people as possible. We have had multiple requests to do a weekly webinar, and we have one coming up tomorrow, Friday the 22nd, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. To get on the invite list, send me an email, leakproject@gmail.com, or send me a text, 970-616-5677. Let's get back to the presentation right now, shall we? Hello. Let's go to the first article here. Absolutely insane. Pentagon officials on Trump's military deportation plan. Trump campaigned on mass deportations. Now he's threatening to use the U.S. military to carry them out. Is this the return of mass deportations? In a controversial new proposal from the Trump campaign, sending shockwaves through political and human rights circles, dubbed Operation Return, this sweeping deportation plan outlines the use of military forces, including the National Guard, to detain and deport millions of undocumented immigrants, echoing the mass expulsion operations of darker chapters in history. This initiative has sparked fierce debates about its constitutional implications and humanitarian impact. Critics warned that blurring the lines between military and civilian jurisdictions could set a dangerous precedent, while others fear the rise of militarized immigration enforcement might lead to abuses of power. The campaign argues it's a matter of national security, citing the strain on resources and social systems caused by illegal immigration. However, questions linger. How will this policy affect America's global reputation, and what ripple effects might it have on communities nationwide? This plan raises the stakes in the immigration debate with ominous undertones of a potential constitutional crisis. Very slippery slope. According to CBS News, Russia fires missiles at Ukraine after Kyiv's first use of long-range American missiles inside of Russia. Russia launched a barrage of missiles at Ukraine Thursday in its first major retaliation for Ukraine's attack earlier in the week on a military facility at the Russian region of Bryansk. That strike saw the Ukrainians use American-made and supplied long-range missiles known as ATA-CMS, which President Biden had given the Ukrainian forces permission to fire deeper into Russian territory only 2 days earlier. Moscow had warned the U.S. and its NATO allies for months against granting Ukraine permission to fire Western missiles into Russia, and Mr. Biden's weekend decision to permit such strikes drew stark new warnings from lawmakers and Russian media close to President Vladimir Putin that the U.S. was escalating the nearly 3-year conflict at the risk of sparking a new world war. Now, I've been following this since, pretty much the inception, at least the major invasion that took place about 1,000 days ago. And it seems like there's been different technologies used in this war that has been reported in the news. I want to get your thoughts about this recent move with the Biden administration allowing these missiles to be used before President-elect Trump takes office. Very interesting timing, to say the least. Do you think that this is going to escalate, bringing us closer to World War III? Many people do, especially when we look at some of these additional articles here. Check this out. Russia claims it shot down a U.S.-made ATACMS missile or several missiles and issues nuclear threat. The Russian defense escalated quickly, didn't it? The Russian Defense Ministry said on Tuesday that it defeated a Ukrainian ATACMS attack in the western Bryansk region shortly before the Kremlin updated its nuclear weapons doctrine to allow for nuclear strikes in response to foreign ballistic missile attacks. 2 U.S. officials also confirmed to ABC News that Ukraine had for the first time fired ATACMS at targets in Russia. Ukrainian forces fired 6 ballistic missiles. The Russian Defense Ministry wrote on its official Telegram page, 5 of which were downed and the 6th damaged. According to confirmed data, American-made ATACMS operational tactical missiles were used. It wrote, ATACMS fragments fell on the technical territory of a military facility in the Bryansk region. A fire broke out. It was extinguished, the ministry added. A U.S. official provided a differing account of the strike, saying Russia intercepted 2 of 8 total ATACMS missiles launched by Ukraine. The other 6 were assessed to have hit an ammunition storage site in Karachev, the official said. The ministry alleged the attack shortly after Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov told journalists that the changes to Russia's nuclear doctrine signed by President Vladimir Putin on Tuesday meant the use of Western non-nuclear rockets by the armed forces of Ukraine against Russia can prompt a nuclear response. Well, there you go. Buckle up, Buttercup. Be prepared, not scared. It appears the next move on the global stage was for Putin to launch a new experimental intermediate range missile and a strike on Ukraine. This is AP News. Listen to this. Putin said the Oreshnik struck a well-known missile factory in Dnipro. He also said Russia would issue advanced warnings if it launches more strikes with the Oreshnik against Ukraine to allow civilians to evacuate to safety, something Moscow hasn't previously done. Goes on to say the Kremlin fired a new intermediate range ballistic missile at Ukraine on Thursday in response to Kyiv's use of American and British missiles capable of striking deeper into Russia, President Vladimir Putin said. In a televised address to the country, the Russian president warned that U.S. air defense systems would be powerless to stop the new missile, which he said flies at Mach 10 and which he called the Oreshnik, Russian for hazelnut tree. He also said it could be used to attack any Ukrainian ally whose missiles are used to attack Russia. We believe that we have the right to use our weapons against military facilities of the countries that allow to use their weapons against our facilities, Putin said in his first comments since President Joe Biden gave Ukraine the green light this month to use U.S. ATACMS missiles to strike at limited targets inside Russia. So the attack Thursday on the central Ukrainian city of Dnipro came in response to Kyiv's use of longer range U.S. and British missiles and strikes on Russia this week, Putin said. In the case of escalation of aggressive actions, we will respond resolutely in a mirror way, the Russian president said. Wow. My, how things escalate quickly right before a transition of power. Frightening timing. Fascinating time to be alive. And you know what? I think we should all take a few minutes today, or at least a minute, and focus some positive energy, maybe some silence towards those that are dealing with war and the ripples of war right now. Because it isn't just Ukraine and Russia. It's the Middle East. And there's many places in the world that we don't even know about that are dealing with their own trials and tribulations. So I'm grateful. I'm thankful. And I thank you for watching the shows. I wish you the very best. I hope you're prepared, not scared. I hope you're in a safe situation. And if you're not, may the force be with you. Be the change the world needs to see. Check back daily for new content. We upload podcasts every single day. Also, check out our other rapid-fire news channel, ESN. ESN42. IC News. The handle's ESN42 on YouTube. Rapid fire news updates. We have a ton of exclusive content on our Patreon page, stuff that you're only going to find on Patreon. Just did an awesome hour-and-a-half podcast with a gentleman named Joe, the mystical rebel. He is very knowledgeable with the esoteric arts, and he gets into some really intense magic and magical operations in this interview. It's uploaded on Patreon. Tons of exclusive content. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Be the change the world needs to see, because it starts with you.